The Lamb-a-roo. Get this little lamb. In the middle of the wilderness was a lamb. He was very small, very sad, and all alone. "Ma," said the lamb, "I want a ma." Not far from the middle of the wilderness was a kangaroo. She had lots of friends, plenty of relatives, and as much food as she wanted to eat. But she wasn't happy. She didn't have a baby, and that made her very sad. So she hopped away from her friends and relatives all the way to the middle of the wilderness, and there she found the lamb. "Ma, ma," said the lamb. The kangaroo loved him immediately. She tucked him into her pouch and hopped back home to show everyone her wonderful new baby. The lamb felt safe and happy in her pouch. He wasn't alone anymore. He loved his new ma and all of his new friends and relatives. Only one thing worried him. He was different from everyone else. Everyone else in the family had smooth brown fur, but he was covered with thick white wool. Everyone else in the family could do huge jumps, but he could only do little ones. The lamb practiced his jumping every day. He jumped on his front feet, he jumped on his back feet, he jumped on all 4 feet together, but he couldn't jump any higher. "Maybe it's because my back legs are too small," thought the lamb, so he tried to make them grow. He pulled them, he pushed them, he even tried to stretch them, but they didn't get any longer. Then one day the lamb and all his new family found an old house. The people who once lived there had gone away, and now it was empty. The lamb went exploring. Beside the house, he found a shed. Inside the shed, he found a mattress, and inside the mattress, he found some springs. Springs are inside the mattress. They're what makes it bouncy. This gave the lamb the idea. He put a spring on each of his feet, and he began to jump. "Hooray!" he yelled. Boing! He jumped out of the shed. Boing! He jumped over the fence. Boing, boing, boing! He jumped across the yard. Wow, look at that. He was so busy jumping, he didn't notice Ma watching him. Look at me, he shouted. "I can jump just like you." His Ma hopped out of the house. Look at me, she called back to him. "I'm covered with wool, just like you." The lamb stopped jumping. He looked at his Ma and felt very sad. He couldn't see her arms. He couldn't see her smooth brown fur. And worst of all, he couldn't see her safe, warm pouch. It was all covered up. "You don't look like my Ma anymore," he cried. "And you don't look like my lamb," cried his Ma. The lamb looked down and saw that she was right. The springs were big and twisty. They had sharp, pointy ends. There was no way that he could fit into his Ma's pouch with them on his feet. The lamb pulled off his springs as quickly as he could, and his Ma threw away her blanket so they both looked like themselves again. The lamb jumped back into his Ma's pouch. For the very first time, he didn't mind being different. He didn't mind having a thick woolly coat. He didn't mind not being able to do huge jumps. He was perfectly happy to be the only Lamb-a-roo in the world.